By this time, everybody knows that the Kansas City Chiefs have not had the greatest season this year. They suffered losses from teams like Baltimore and the Chargers early on in the season, but never quite recovered. They won a game against Philadelphia and the Browns, but lost to Buffalo before winning a game against Washington with a 4-3 record. But after losing badly to the Titans with a score of 3-27, they're now sitting with 7 consecutive wins in the bag, a 10-4 record, and they are most definitely making the playoffs. But this makes me wonder, are the Chiefs actually back, or have they just gotten lucky with all their wins? This is a difficult question to answer, but to do so, I think it's fair to go back to where their winning streak started, which was on a Monday night game against the Giants at Arrowhead on November 1st to finish up Week 8. They managed to squeeze out a win against the Giants with a score of 17-20, which isn't too impressive considering that the Giants aren't well known for being an amazing team, as they're currently ranked 27th in the NFL. Though this wasn't a great game for either team, it was a win that KC needed to build momentum and give them hope. Mahomes threw for 275 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception, which isn't much better than Daniel Jones, who threw for 222 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. That's the problems that Mahomes has had all season. He's played like an average quarterback, which was uncommon for Mahomes, which led to many people doubting him. But either way, they got the win, which got them to a 4-4 record. The next game up is a game between the Green Bay Packers and the Kansas City Chiefs. This game was played on Week 9 on Sunday at Arrowhead on November 7th. This game should have been a blast to watch, but with Rodgers missing the game due to COVID, this game was a big letdown. The Chiefs were able to beat the Packers by a score of 13-7. With Rodgers out, the Packers were left to put in their 2020 first-round pick Jordan Love as their quarterback. Many had hoped that he'd be able to win this game for them, but Love did not live up to the standards. Mahomes threw 166 yards and 1 touchdown, while Love threw for 190 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Overall, Mahomes played worse than Love, which was another bad sign for the Chiefs, but what won them the game was not their offense, which played pretty mediocre. What got them the win was most definitely the signing of Melvin Ingram, a defensive end / linebacker who was traded from the Pittsburgh Steelers over to Kansas City. His addition allowed defensive tackle Chris Jones to move back on the inside and therefore applied more pressure to Love. The game bumped the Chiefs up to 5-4, but was definitely not an impressive win. After winning 2 ugly games against 2 teams who weren't at their best, the Chiefs were desperately looking for something to turn their season around. With a record of 5-4, there was a chance that they could still get to where they wanted to be, but it felt pretty unlikely. The Chiefs and Raiders fought for first place in the AFC West on Sunday Night Football at Las Vegas during Week 10 on November 14th. Just when the Chiefs needed it the most, they played one of their best game, if not the best game of their season. Mahomes threw for 406 yards and 5 touchdowns. They scored a total of 41 points in Las Vegas, while their new and improved defense limited Vegas to 14 points. Granted, Las Vegas was going through a lot at the time with the Henry Ruggs situation and the resigning of John Gruden, but KC got the win they needed, bumped up to 6-4, and led the AFC West. After playing their best game of the season, it seemed like the Chiefs' offense was officially back, and they planned to do the same thing they did to Vegas on Dallas. The Chiefs and Cowboys played on Sunday at Arrowhead during Week 11 on November 21st. Mahomes threw for 260 yards, no touchdowns this game, and 1 interception. Mahomes went back to looking extremely average, as their 2 touchdowns came from a direct snap to Kelce and a 1-yard run by Edwards-Helaire, who had just come back after missing 5 games due to an injury. Again, their defense stepped up and limited Dallas to just 9 points, although they were also missing wide receiver Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, who left the game early due to a concussion. The game bumped the Chiefs up to 7-4 on the year, and continued their streak to 4. Coming back after the bye week, Kansas City was hoping to bump their win streak to 5, as they were playing the Denver Broncos during Week 13 on Sunday Night Football, December 5th at Arrowhead. This was another disappointing game for the Chiefs offense, as Mahomes only threw for 184 yards and an interception, as their 2 touchdowns came from a Mahomes 10-yard run and a Daniel Sorensen pick 6. It seemed like their offense just wasn't the same, as Hill, Kelce, and Pringle were dropping passes left and right, which caused a lot of 3-and-outs for the Chiefs. Nonetheless, they did get the win on a score of 9-22 and went to 8-4. Yes, another game against the Chiefs and Raiders. This was a game where a lot of people thought the Raiders would win this time, but on the first play of the game, after all the Raiders huddled up on the Chiefs logo, the Raiders fumbled and cornerback Mike Hughes took it in for a touchdown. The irony. The rest of the game did not go well for Las Vegas, as they lost with a score of 9-48 at Arrowhead. It seemed like the Chiefs' offense was amazing against Vegas, mostly because Las Vegas rarely played man-to-man or 2 high safety defenses, which the Chiefs took advantage of. Not much else to talk about this game. Chiefs went to 9-4. Read a book. The most recent game the Chiefs played was against the Chargers. They needed to prove that they could score against teams not named the Raiders, as well as showing that their defense can perform well against above average teams. Unfortunately for them, 4 players were out for this game, 3 of which out for COVID. Defensive tackle Chris Jones, linebacker Willie Gay, yeah, that's his name, and wide receiver Josh Gordon were out due to COVID. And cornerback L'Jarius Sneed was out for personal reasons. Even after all this, the Chiefs managed to beat the Chargers in overtime with a score of 34-28. Mahomes threw for 410 yards and 3 touchdowns, which was one of his best games against a team not called the Raiders. This game was at Lo-Fi on Thursday night, and this win put the Chiefs at 10-4, and currently they are the number 1 seed in the AFC. So to answer my question, are the Chiefs back? My answer at the moment is yes, they are back, but not in the same way as in previous years. Instead of needing to rely on the offense to make big plays, it's more up to the defense to make stops and the offense to take what they could get and move the ball down the field slowly. Read a book.